Okay, please be seated. Righto, thank you. Welcome to the second part of this evening's program. I'm Nelson Bosted, the MC for this second half. Do we have any new, visitors here who are here for the first time tonight? I won't embarrass you, just wave your hand. Okay, we're all veterans. Been here before, you know the drills about toilets and escape routes and so forth. And cell phones are all switched off now, aren't they? Okay. Before we start, a couple of notices. We have at the back of the room, we still have the papers for forms for people who wish to do mentoring or for people who wish to get mentored, as if that's English. So those are down there at the rear of the hall. If you're interested in that, if you want some mentoring or you wish to do some mentoring, then please put your names forward on there. Okay. The next field trips are coming up. The first one is coming up soon is the fungi field trip, and I'll just call on Janine, got it, to talk about that for a moment.
Thank you. So just a reminder, the fungi field trips are on the 9th, 10th and 11th of May. It's in Greymouth this year. The shared accommodation is mostly full. There's one male triple share bed available. But if anyone else is wanting to come, there's lots of people staying in the camping ground and you're welcome to make your own accommodation. We've got about 23 people going so far, so it should be a good weekend. But yeah, we'd love to have anyone else who's thinking about coming.
Just to clarify that we're not sleeping freely until then.
I don't want to know what you're going to do. Yeah, each room has 3 beds and 1 man per bed. Yeah.
Thank you. The other field trip coming up is the winter school, and that is scheduled for Hokitika on the 25th to 27th of July, and there's information on the CPS web page, Facebook page. Are there any other messages or notices that I have not yet mentioned? Okay, well, next is my job to introduce a very hard-working projected image secretary. Francesca, would you come forward, please?
Thank you, Nelson. Hi everyone, welcome to your PI2. Jo Curtis is our judge tonight. Jo is a photographer based in Christchurch and is a member of CPS. Jo's work explores the relationships between human emotions, endeavours and our creations, along with the fascination for the natural world. Her work incorporates many and different genres. Jo has exhibited in local, national galleries and art fairs. Her work has gained awards from local, national and international salons. She has held tutorials on creative artists' photographic techniques and has assessed many club photo competitions. Jo holds an associateship distinction with the Photographic Society of New Zealand. I'm sure many of you have seen Jo's wonderful images before. Thank you, Jo.
Thanks, Francesca. Hi, everybody. And now that you're all schooled over the last hour on what I should be looking for, you'll be able to do this part of the session better than I will. However, let's go. I'll just do a wee introduction first. And just to explain to you a little bit about what I see and why I'm giving the comments that I am. So excuse me sitting this way, but I've got my notes in front of me here. But you, of course, will be able to see the screen, no trouble from where you are. So I had a pleasure viewing all of these 43 images, and it's always a neat time to sit with them. And as we saw in the last presentation, it does take quite a while, and so it's a good idea to give myself time take in all of the images and read and pick up information from each one. It takes some time, and it's great to be able to spend that time doing it. And from the notes that CPS has provided me to work from, I'll just read. It says, guidelines are intended to ensure consistent judging approaches without restricting the judge's approaches from expressing their individuality. Competitions provide photographers with incentives and guidelines. That's going to be a bit of an issue for me. Guidelines intended to ensure consistent judging approaches without restricting judges' approaches from expressing their individuality, which now you've heard twice. Also from the Charter and what we're looking for, CPS has given me, competitions provide photographers with incentives and guidelines for improvement as well as enjoyment of those who come to view the images. Competition entries are to be judged on your assessment of relative merit in terms of communicating a story or concept, technical execution and artistry. So, and to note, an image should be awarded an acceptance score or above if it is suitable for exhibition. So, because it's with CPS and we're looking at exhibition images for the end of the year, that's what we're looking for as far as getting accepted or not. So if your image is accepted, it's accepted into the exhibition at the end of the year with all the other CPS images that have been deemed accepted during the year, which gives us our grand image finale. Now for newer members, members have the opportunity to resubmit an amended image in a later competition. So that is tonight, if your image has not been accepted, then have a listen to what my comments are, and you might like to consider making a few changes, because my suggestion is to help you make a stronger image. So tonight we have one Best in Show that picks up a number 6. We have 4 honours, that gets a 5, 2 high acceptances, a 4. We have 13 acceptances and 23 non-acceptances, which means about half of the images in tonight's show have been accepted. And my assessment and feedback on your images aims to help you improve your image making. I'll identify specific points that enhanced or detracted me from the image. This is my opinion, and you're welcome to action my suggestions, or not. Should your image receive a non-acceptance, I have endeavoured to explain why. This gives you the opportunity to re-edit and resubmit with a stronger image. So what I'm looking for tonight in this selection that was presented to me is for me to have an emotional response, for me to see a vision, see creativity, the image has some innovation and an enduring quality. So what I want you to do is show me something new, or even something mundane and commonplace in a new way. Show me how you've interpreted and designed a new image from what has caught your eye. So does it have lasting power? Does it have communication value? Is it a successful image? So those are the things I'm talking to myself about when I look at your images. So we'll have a look at the first one. And we have, okay, Grandad. A special moment of exchange as they walk along together. The child's hand must be moving fast as your speed of 1/500th didn't catch the stone in focus. It's an important part of the story you're creating. If the child is looking at the stone, or even better at Grandad, I would have been more involved in the moment. As it stands, it's a tender moment they shared, and lovely that you captured the exchange. summer ragwort. An interesting presentation of this flower in black and white. This eliminates a distraction of the right of colour. The composition in the frame works well with the horizontal petals on the right suggesting I move on, like a hand signal. The narrow depth of field, 5.6, at close range renders only a centre part of the in focus. It looks as though the anther and filament are on their last legs. The other flower below, this one, is a little prominent to me. Farming village. The farmer is still out there working on the picturesque little village as the sun goes down. There's plenty to look at in this image, and I'm drawn into it to see the details as to how their lives contrast with mine. You have a great vantage point to shoot from. My only suggestion to make this a stronger image would be to crop from the top some of that dark forested area, not too close to the spire, but the details are lost in the dark, and that doesn't add to the image as I see it. Shades of green. A modern art image. The reflections and inverse patterns in the spheres are fascinating. The burnt out dot of white and blue colour take my attention away from your light show. In post, you may be able to overlay some of the green to eliminate that spot. Greeting the sun. A splendid field of early morning sunflowers. The two foreground sunflowers smile as the morning light warms them. This image is about just that, the warming sunflowers. The mist and hedge and distant hill do not add to the concept you are presenting to me. My suggestion is to crop out the above. Then I delight in the flowers you have captured. ICM mountain range at Lake Clearwater. Here's a beautiful windswept mountain range. To me, the interest is on the left, that area of high contrast, of greys and purples and violets merging with the browns and whites. That becomes an emotive gesture. There's one wee dust spot near the left edge to edit out too, please. My suggestion is to crop half of this, not the dot, but half of the image away and keep the left side. Now it's a creative statement. Sunset at Birdling's Flat. Good use of camera movement to suggest the passage of time. The soft pastels suggest a calm evening as these gentle swells roll in. There is some yellow in the tumbling pebbles on shore. My suggestion is to add a little more yellow in edit to the pebble water and into the roll of the swell, just a little, to lift the contrast. Then crop the sky into the dark clouds so the horizon is about thirds. It looks like a jet trail up there, and it's distracting for me. I think the balance of your composition will improve with that crop. What do you think? Autumn sails. A bench seat view of a sailing boat. What a serene moment you've captured. My suggestion is to crop to that subject. Take away anything from this image that doesn't add to your vision. Here we go. Crop down halfway to the tree line, eliminating the blue sky completely. Crop across from the left into the dark of that left tree, and this acts as a framed border. There will be no distracting edge elements there now. Crop across from the right to the in-focus tree trunk. That eliminates the bright out-of-focus tree trunk on the right. That puts the man on the bench seat and the boat as the main subject. Just two more things to do. Darken the end of the building across the lake, and lastly, the sails could do with some more detail. I hope you have enough in your original exposure to draw the details out here. That's a lot of change to make a stronger image. When you're there setting up your, camera, attempt to do all of that before you press the shutter. Christchurch city culture. An interesting PJ or landscape shot on the Avon River. The railing leads my eye to the bright bridge on the left side of the frame. There I cross the bridge to explore the new build of the stadium in the distance. My eye goes to the light, then back to the tree on the riverbank, and lastly the waka. I'm looking for your interpretation of this content. And what are you leading my eye to view? This image displays small on my screen. Have you used the CPS image size 3840 by 2160 when submitting to the website? If you're not sure how to do that, ask one of us and we'll help you. Misty morning. This image struck with its simplicity and minimalist feel. Certainly a creative edit that promotes an emotional response. Please go back to your original and re-edit to avoid the banding that has been created in post. If this can be eliminated, this will be a superb image. Akaroa Wharf. This certainly is Akaroa Wharf. You are showing me a clear, crisp photo of the wharf. The blue and white buildings with the contrast of the wooden facades and detailed signage add interest to the scene. My eye is drawn to the figure in the red dinghy. This is where the interest is for me. The distant hills, the yacht and launch on the left, and the harbour water in the foreground don't add to this image for me. My suggestion is to crop out the hills, crop out the distant boats, crop out the water up to some of the reflection of the boats, and there's the building details and the red dinghy as an anchor to the image. What do you think? Ready to launch. Good on you for seeing the moment of launch. Your setting of speed 1/1000th and ISO 1600 on this sunny day were about spot on. The camera has focused on the thorny bush and spiderweb, not the bird's eye and head. If you're using autofocus, check that the automatic focus target point is on your subject. I know you only have a moment to do this. A beautiful bird well positioned in the frame. Kaka enjoying bird biscuit in Zealandia Wildlife Refuge. Isn't the kaka a fabulous bird to be close to? This one is displaying for us the way it uses one foot as a hand to manage its food while standing perfectly still on the other. You used 100th speed for this capture. See how the perch, branch and its standing foot are in focus? Because its beak and gripping foot are moving as it chews out the biscuit, the speed needs to increase to enable the sharp and crisp capture. I would suggest 1,000th to 1,600 for bird and moving animal shots. The bird is well framed in this image. Taylor's mistake. A beautiful long exposure, 60 seconds. To mystify the ocean and calm the sky around these rugged rocks. You've softened the horizon in editing too. That works well. This has a score of 2 as you can return to the image and edit the dust or water spots out. Once you notice them, they're like sandflies on the West Coast beach. It has an enduring quality with its contrast of smooth and rugged. Impressions of a beach, ICM. This image certainly is made at the beach. It's great to experiment with ICM. Your camera movement horizontally works well. The colour palette you've chosen to use, to me, is too loud. Toning it down to more natural colours may enhance the scene. Even monochrome may work too. This image is busy and my eye darts about. The person playing in the sand and the person knee-deep are too far right of the main interest. My suggestion is to crop that side of the image so that you have little more than the space between the adult's right elbow and the edge on the right-hand side. So, do you see what I mean? Taking off the person in the sand and the person in the water. Because now it's more balanced, and the triangle interest of the ship, the adult, and the child interests me. Turning in formation. Last year's Black Falcons aerobatics team entertained with delight from the crowd. In editing, a touch of denoise would have taken this graininess or digital noise away. Having these planes flying in formation towards the viewer with the smoke trail is certainly impressive. The grouping of 3 and then 2 adds to the composition. The obtuse angle adds tension, a great capture. It's just the noise in that one that may be improved. Tranquil touch. As the title suggests, tranquil, well seen. The busy edges of this reflection could be eliminated to enhance the tranquil scene. I suggest a small crop from the top to cut out all the detailed branches and twigs, then another from the right to allow a more painterly, emotive image. Also, try a touch of exposure and shadow lift to lighten the image. What do you think? Does that make the image stronger? Silence in the fog. I can sense the cool of the fog air on my shoulders. A lovely atmospheric image. Because you have named the image about the fog, I want that part of the image to be dominant. In this case, I suggest you look at cropping the gate and the pole out of the image. Do they add to the image as it is? Try cropping the image from the right, past the 2 battens to the first fence post. That makes your image almost a square. Now I see that foggy tree. It holds centre stage, an enduring quality. Resubmitted with that crop should return you a favourable score. Nappy nappy waves. It's great that you've been out there giving the camera movement a workout. To me, the beautiful horizon line and the soft cloud bank are overshadowed by the foreground motion of the wave over the rock. There is just too much movement there for me. When working with the water, be careful in editing that all dust spots or water splashes are edited off the final image. Rose and ICM double. It's fun to merge 2 images. The composition of this image to me is weighted to the right. In your originals, do you have more room around the water droplet crisp rose? I would like to see either greener ICM around the rose or the rose cropped in as tight as the right and bottom sides. The 2 ICM roses on the left make a beautiful vertical image all on their own. Rose. What a beautiful image of this precision dancer. The tonal quality is superb. Please consider cropping the top to above her left hand and the repeating pattern so that her head is on the top third. I see this as a better balance for this delightful image. Because it has a 2 score, you may like to consider resubmitting with that change. I'm sure it will gain a very high score. Details, details. An interesting study of the working parts of this wheel. The nuts and bolts offer a hypnotic repetition to the viewer. To me, this image needs to be pin sharp to allow the impact it could. Black and white. The geometrics at the pier certainly offer some interesting image making. Your long 25-second exposure has calmed the sky and sea. My eye is captivated, sliding along the obtuse lines and sliding down around the circles. An interesting study in black and white. Decorative birdcage. A well-executed still life birdcage as a decorative item. Great to see the gulls flying free around it. Looking right. A high contrast image allowing us a glimpse of who this lady is and questions about where she's going. Thoughts of pre-colonisation. The ICM technique has been used to creatively capture your vision. The ducks flying in and the people walking away create a 3D effect and movement in time. I'm assuming the haloing around the people is on purpose to intensify the mystique. Manhattan Bridge pedestrian path. Showcasing the work of art of the bridge and the corresponding safety netting. All lines leading to the pedestrians. Tourists enjoying waka paddling. Happy tourists paddling along the Avon. You have positioned the boats well in the frame, and the exiting duck adds to the excitement of the occasion. Battle of the giant petrels. An action shot of two strong birds squabbling over a free meal. The 1/2050th speed you have captured and frozen the action. We see the feather detail and beak detail. Well done. Hold on tight. A great action PJ image. What fun they're all having. The white water in the foreground could do with more detail, and that may not be possible in this instance. Portrait, a life well lived. A portrait of a life well lived, yes. Your post-processing technique with contrast and clarity has created the look you wanted. A portrait well positioned in the frame. Forest sculpture. Hamner has a fabulous bushwalk and many surprises jump out to greet you. This is one of them, well executed in black and white. Arc of colours. Magical to witness this phenomenon. The Fiordland skies offer great photographic opportunities. This happens when you get up early to catch the low sun behind you and are ready with your camera. Love, actually. Setting the scene for love, actually. A fun set with models engaged in conversation. The warm tones add to the atmosphere, and holding hands adds intimacy. Towards Lake Hawea, a lovely pano of the view up the lake. frolicking friends. What a moment to capture. Well done, as it's a challenge to know where and when they'll surface next when they're playing like this. White heron, Okarito Lagoon. Beautiful and serene. Isn't it a privilege to watch this heron in action? As it fishes, the reflective light enhances the shape and texture of its wings and body. A well-caught moment before it lunges. On the way in sunset. An extremely graphic image that lends itself to storytelling. 3 elements, 2 in action. Each viewer will create their own story around the elements you present us with. Greymouth. The power of carefully arranged white space. A clean graphic image with elements well positioned to make a statement. Up the Beely River. Isn't it a privilege to be in the Beely River? One has to be careful stepping on those wet, slippery rocks. You nailed the shot. You waited until the clouds separated the scene from the sun to highlight those earthy tones. You wanted to show the silky effect of the water, so slowed your shutter speed. Of course, my eye travels upstream to where I think the source is, and then down with the flow to exit both sides of the frame. What a ride. Well planned and executed. This image has an enduring quality. Walking the dog. This gentleman is probably a world away from here, yet we empathise with him. Age takes its toll, yet we still want to take the dog walking. The contrast of black and white highlights the stark reality of life. A powerful image. Thank you for sharing. Fierce competitor. Innovative. Having the leader approach you. Such determination on his face. A great PJ shot. You framed the elements tightly, which suggests tension. We don't need to see all of the paddles or all of the kayak to understand the image. A well-caught moment. And this is my best in show, left behind at the pier. So show me something new, or even something mundane and commonplace in a new way. You have interpreted and designed a new image from what has caught your eye. The location is totally recognisable by all of us in here this evening. You have seen and innovated a story around the pants on the railing. And look, there's shoes too. You have created a scene for us to ponder over. Well done, and best in show.
Thank you, Jo. Some wonderful images. I will now ask Diana and just Jo, okay. Jo to come up and present the certificates.
That was interesting doing that because listening to the previous 7 o'clock session where we were told that we're not supposed to look at the metadata, clearly I did. But on this occasion, when I'm trying to help people out with making a better image, if it's something about speed and focus, then I think it might be useful to let you know how I see it. So that's why I put those in tonight.
Sliding out. Sorry, I have to get my glasses. Made it. Okay. First up, black and white, Lucy Ferguson. Decorative birdcage, Jan Bogue. Looking right, Carolyn Alcock. Thoughts of pre-colonisation, that's me. Yes. Manhattan Bridge pedestrian path, John Thornton. Tourist enjoying Walker paddling, Robin Johansson. Battle of the Giant Petrels, Ian Harrison. Hold on tight, Toby Mears. A Life Well Lived, Alistair Phillips. He's away. Forest Sculpture, Vince Morton. Arc of Colours, Nerily Keating. Love Actually, Anthony York. Towards Lake Harawea, JK. Frolicking Friends, Dawn Kirk. White Heron, Barry Dench. On the Way in Sunset, Ann Yan. Greymouth, Dennis Chang. Up the Beely River, Shirley Wilson. Walking the Dog, Pip Owens. Fierce Competitor, Les Amon. And left behind at the pier, Raywin Wright. Fantastic. Do we have any of the honours and high acceptance people here? JK. Want to come and Shirley's here. Oh, it's Dennis.
Right, as as all of you can see, it's a picture taking at Greymouth, and I didn't do much processing with this. The main thing that I do with most of my pictures is cropping, and so I just said, oh, that's too much, I want to the way I took them, that they are kind of converging a little bit. And I actually want some weight at the bottom, and I felt that that little lamppost would do it. If you take that away, the picture doesn't look balanced, doesn't feel right. And also the word greymouth I intentionally left in there. I know that words have a very heavy weight. But I thought, well, is it at the bottom? And it's probably all right. The one thing I should have done, which I didn't, is wait until 10:10. That would have been good. But anyway, as I say, c'est la vie, next time. Thank you.
Would you like to, Shirley?
Yes. So I spent half my life up at Arthur's Pass National Park, and I just love going off track and finding nice little spots to photograph. And this one, you know, you have to wait for the right level of water in the river, and this was actually taken in winter, and the light was absolute crap because it's in the valleys, and you get about 2 hours in the day where you've got sunlight and it's all straight overhead. However, I was very happy with this, and taking heart from some of the things people have said tonight about resubmitting. I actually submitted this one last year and I got a 2, and the judge said there were a few things I could do, and he said, do those and resubmit, and I was like, oh yeah, all right, he's just being kind. But I did that. I took the raw file again and reworked the whole thing and resubmitted, and what a difference. So yes, this is my favourite sort of place. Yep.
Here, I think. Can we give Jo a big round of applause for her hard work and for all the competitors? Thank you, everybody. I'll pass you back to Nelson.
Thank you, Francesca. Okay, yes, I do commend you coming out tonight and going home in the weather, such as it will be. The next competition closing dates, you'll have seen a very good turnout of prints coming in for the competition that closes tonight, and I thank you for all those who have entered into that. That's the projected image 2, and the next one coming up on the 30th of April is the natural history projected image. You have details through Diana's very helpful email on the competitions further out from that. Next meeting next week is here, the scavenger hunt results, which should be very interesting. I encourage you to come and partake in that. It's my job to thank everyone who's first of all attended tonight, and also for the organisers, Ian, for presenting this 7 o'clock session, opening and closing the venue, Dennis, I think, meet and greet. Well, there wasn't a lot of new ones tonight, was there? Sound, Gordon and Tim, and projection, supper coordination. Anyone I've missed out, thank you very much. And with that, cheers away, good night, and drive home safely.